Is this just the reorganization of how the firm is structured, or is this transition pains from David Solomon taking the reins?
Well, you have a situation where last year you combined a bunch of units into merchant banking at Goldman, and that meant that there were 3 co-heads of that unit starting last year. And the latest departures are 2 of those 3 co-heads, Sumit Rajpal and Andrew Wolff. And that leaves Julian Salisbury as kind of last man remaining. And what we heard was there were tensions between the 3 after that combination, and that seems to have led to the departures of the 2. I mean, you have some reworking of that unit and parts of Goldman Sachs, and that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. People sometimes leave.
So anytime you have these leadership changes, I mean, you obviously have a little bit of a fallout here, but I mean, a big part of the currency of Goldman Sachs and its other peers is being able to recruit talent. And what does this do? And retain talent, right, exactly. So how does this just optically, how does this going to potentially affect their ability to bring in top talent?
That's a good question. I mean, Goldman, as you've mentioned, is kind of a blue chip company, and people know Goldman. But they did have their first investor day last week, and they are showing they need to explain themselves to investors a bit more than they have in the past. And you kind of have to expect that, given these pretty high-level departures, both here and on the tech side, that they're going to have to keep explaining, what they're doing right or wrong, or what they need to do to change things.
Yeah, it's a new era. Is Morgan Stanley, J.P. Morgan losing executives in the same way? I
mean, look, I mean, all these companies gain and lose people all the time, and people go from one company to another. I think what's dramatic here is you have a lot of high-level departures in a very short time, and especially right after Investor Day, where they were sort of explaining themselves.